a flashlight. It couldn't have been done with a laser. It couldn't have been because it was white and it was very, very tightly focused on the central part of the altar. And I went, Jesus, look at that. Then she's standing with her back to the altar and I'm standing facing it. She says, something's happening at the altar here. And it was like cold air rushing up from her feet. It was coming straight up. And you could put your hands out like that to both sides. And it was like going through a barrier. And it was slightly warmer on the outside. Bring it back inside. And it was bitter cold again. And she says, I'm getting frightened. I'm going to stop this. So we both went back outside and we're looking over the altar and this light's still there. I've got a photograph of it. I said, I think we better stop this. So we switched off the amplifier, and all of a sudden, kaboom, it all stopped. But we came in within an ace of activating that portal. And the thing is that the mediums are saying, this is not a one-way thing, this is a two-way portal. Things could have come through from there, rather than through from here. But she was more frightened, I think, that somebody could fall through this thing from our side, and we couldn't get them back again. So Rosalind Chapel does have a portal. It's right in front, literally right in front of the St. Matthew altar, down at the east end of the chapel. And if any of your listeners are over there, go to the chapel, look at the east end, and right at the left-hand side you'll find the St. Matthew altar. And that's where the portal is. But I'll tell you how we came to know this, to get to know this. In 1995 was when about the second or third time I visited the place. And I was talking, my wife was there. And I was standing with my back, I don't know why I was there, but I was standing with my back right up against the St. Matthew altar. And I started to feel really weird, for want of a better word. And I suddenly started to come up off the floor, literally come up off the floor. It's like something was like pushing on my heels and pushed me up off the floor. And my arms started floating up from my sides, but this is really strange. But my wife was taking me and had this on video. And she was videoing me. I said, look, hon, I says, stand there, tell me what you feel. I took the camera. And she stood there, and I hadn't told her anything. And her arms started to drift up from her sides. So there was something activating right on that altar. But we just left it at that. Now, I told the BBC about this, God bless the BBC, and they said, could you send us this tape video? So stupidly, I didn't record it. I didn't make a recorder. I sent them the tape, and it vanished. That's the last I saw of that videotape. I asked them about it. They said, "Oh, we got it, but we've lost it." Quote, "We've lost it." They didn't lose it. If they did lose it, they lost it on purpose. But yeah, I've known about that Rosalind Chapel is a gateway. In fact, one of the mediums who was told me that this place doesn't exist 99%. It exists 99.9% here, and 0.1% somewhere else. And when the Sinklers built this, we believe that they built the chapel to hide a secret. And this secret was not for mortal man to find. And they hid it in this portal at the St. Matthew altar. Because unless you knew the specific frequency to find it, you would never find it. And in the St. Matthew altar, anyone that looks above in the St. Matthew, you'll find there are bands of cubes running up from angels playing musical instruments. These bands of cubes run up all the way along called the Lady Chapel. It's called the Lady Chapel, isn't it? And all these cubes on the different faces have patterns, if you like. And the secret to this portal is hidden in these cubes. Because when we found this out later, that when these cubes were actually constructed or actually carved, the nearest they could get to producing the musical notes required was on, say, a sheet of thin copper or a sheet of glass, okay, which would be suspended by one corner, and very, very fine sand that they would have would be sprinkled on it. Then the actual piece of copper or piece of glass would be bowed, but like a violin bow or something like that. And when they got the frequency they wanted, the actual sand would form a pattern on the piece of, yeah, exactly. And they can actually do this using frequency signal generators now. They can actually do it very easily. Yeah. And we think, I believe, that these cubes were carved with patterns created by the musical notes created with the sand on these pieces of glass or pieces of metal. And that is where the secret lies. But the problem is decoding it. When this guy told me about this particular pattern, it was luck. It was just a sheer fluke. It happened to, he got it. He got it actually. In fact, it's churning back in here if we can get the particular frequencies for you. But these frequencies will affect the chapel, and they will affect this particular portal, and it will open if you do it. But I think you're going to have to be very brave, because you're going to have to accept what comes through it. That is the problem, because you're going to have to accept that you could go that way, or they could come this way. And in fact, one of the mediums who took up there back in 1995, she said, they're asking me to bring them through. She was looking at the altar, she said, they're asking me to bring them through. So she knew there was something, she knew there was something they wanted through. But by this time, she looked around and we were starting to attract a crowd, shall we say. People knew we were doing something and they were getting interested. And the media said, well, she says, I'm not a freak show. That's just she just backed up and stopped it. So we just left the chapel at that point. But yeah, there is a portal in Rosslyn Chapel. It can be opened and I know how to do it.
Brian, I would love to go to Rosslyn Chapel. I mean, all the stories, they say that the mummified head of Jesus Christ is there, the crown jewels of Scotland, the Holy Grail. I mean, all these stories about Rosslyn Chapel, I mean, anybody who gets to go there, I would be so jealous.
I can picture the crown jewels of Scotland are in Edinburgh Castle. That's where they are. But I know what you're saying about the mummified head of Christ. I know what you're saying about the Holy Grail. That they actually claim that the Grail is actually inside the apprentice pillar. Now, the whole of Rosslyn Chapel is full of Masonic symbolism, absolutely full of it. They claim that the apprentice pillar was, in fact, the apprentice that built it was murdered by his craftsman. The story was that when they were building Rosslyn Chapel, because this was actually funded entirely by the Sinclair family, and it cost a lot of money over a lot of years. But the guy, this master, this mason, who had been tasked with actually